Good morning from Venice. So we're very excited to be back in Venice. We only have 2 days here. Tomorrow's supposed to rain, but today it's beautiful. It's a high of 19, but it feels much warmer. We're just coming from Malta, which was a lot windier and a lot cooler. So we're excited to start the day here. This morning we're going to go on a free walking tour with free Venice tours. They're going to take us around the city, give us an overview, and then we're going to go out on our own and explore this beautiful city. We're here in May and it's so crowded. I can't imagine being here in like actual summertime. But in any case, we're going to follow the tour guide for about 2.5 hours and check out the beautiful city of Venice. Our first day in any city starts off on a walking tour. We think that this is the best way to get a rundown of the city in the least amount of time. Walking the streets with a local really helps you get acquainted with the city, and they're always more than happy to give you tips on the best cafes, museums, and churches to visit. And listening to a local talk about the infamous high tides in Venice was definitely a bonus.
A high tide that arrives at 1 meter and 80 centimeters. At San Marco this will be 1.20 above the belly button. And all the city is differently affected by the high tides. San Marco is the first one to be affected. Water doesn't come from the canal. It's actually going out from underneath the ground, from all of those holes. If it's not perfectly well isolated, even from the bathroom, for example, it's all going out, going up. And in many places, like restaurants, they're leaving it as an attraction because it's quite beautiful to see. For example, it happened to me. I was time to go home and take my rubber boots, or I can just lift my feet and eat like this with my feet on the chair. And I saw how the water rose from underneath the table, and after 30 minutes it went down.
One of the most iconic figures in Venice is the gondola, so we were so happy that the tour included visiting the yard where gondolas are constructed. We never realized that all gondolas are painted black until the tour guide pointed it out to us. Back in the 16th century, the government made this mandatory because before that time, the noble families used to decorate the gondolas with bright colors and even precious stones, trying to outdo the others. The city wanted the gondolas to represent Venice and not a specific family, so they all had to be painted black.
And each gondola is unique because it's made particularly for its gondolier, depending on his weight, since they're very sensitive. Also with some future probabilities of easily gaining weight or easily losing weight. They should be readjusted.
To build a city where it is impossible to build a city is madness in itself. But to build there one of the most elegant and grandest of cities is madness of genius, said Alexander Herzen. The city of Venice was built with such ingenuity and engineering skill that you can't help but be amazed at its construction. The first settlers arrived in 402 AD and needed a way to increase the space of the small islands and have a stronger foundation. So they pounded thousands of wooden piles into the mud so close together that they were touching and created solid platforms which became the foundation of their homes. Oh, and while they were at it, they built 120 churches for the 120 little islands that would rival any major city. So the artist Banksy came to Venice about a week ago and painted this picture without anyone noticing. After the walking tour, we decided to get some lunch from a local cafe that the tour guide recommended. So we just finished a walking tour in the morning. It was really, really good. The tour guide was really informative and she suggested that we stop in this cafe. I hope you guys can hear me, it's very noisy in here. This cafe in Piazza, and we're having little sandwiches. So I'll show you the sandwiches here. Can you see them? Some with salmon and cream cheese, and some with salmon, salami, and they're like €150 each, which is a great price. And they also have a sign that says that their bread is freshly baked and no hydrogenized oil, so that's pretty good. So we're gonna have lunch and then we're gonna go and continue exploring the city. After lunch, we decided to walk to the most famous place in Venice, St. Mark's Square. This busy square is a must-see place when you visit Venice. This is the largest square and by far the most beautiful. The architecture around this one square will take your breath away. You'll find the museum quarter here, the bell tower from the 9th century that stands over 300 feet tall, and last but certainly not least is the magnificent St. Mark's Basilica. Here's beautiful St. Marco Cathedral. So the story goes that St. Marco had come to Venice and he preached the gospel to the people of Venice, but then he left. But the people of Venice loved him so much, they claimed that an angel had spoke to someone saying that St. Marco should be buried in Venice. But there was a problem. St. Marco was already buried in Alexandria, Egypt. So the city of Venice sent 2 men to go and steal St. Marco's body, buried body. Now the way that they snuck his body out of Alexandria was they put him in a barrel with pork meat. And as we know, a lot of people in Egypt are Muslim, and so they don't touch pork at all. So when they checked what they were bringing over from Alexandria and saw the barrel with pork meat, they didn't even inspect it. That's how they got San Marco's body to Venice and built this beautiful cathedral. They really wanted his body. This is truly the heart of Venice, and you can see the beauty and genius of the city all in one place. We couldn't go to Venice without doing a bit of shopping for leather bags. After a bit of bargaining, we got some good deals on some good quality leather, and then it was time to head back to the apartment and get some rest after a long day in a very special city. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. But don't leave yet. Stay tuned for our outtakes. We got some salami. Okay, we have a collection. Keenan. Okay, Keenan, quiet.
Not true. No. My mouth was closed like this.
All the germs still jump out of your mouth. Mom, I don't even know what to do with myself.